Hey everybody, Douglas Blair Roberts, the Super Vader 400, and of course the brown skinned human coming at you with another video. And this time, this is a rare review. Actually, the next 4 videos will be rare reviews, with 2 of them being a remake of a previous video I did. This video right here, as you can see by the title above, is my review of the Blue Water dub of Dragon Ball GT. When Funimation finished dubbing, when Ocean Dub Studios finished dubbing Dragon Ball Z, they got their sister promotion. They got their sister production company to do to redub the original Dragon Ball and dub Dragon Ball GT. I first heard about this, I think, in about 2012 and 13. I knew they had redubbed GT. What I didn't know was that they redubbed Dragon Ball, which that'll be the 4th video. That'll be the 4th video. But this video right here is a review of Dragon Ball GT, which as usual with the Ocean dub, they've outdone themselves. They're able to turn shit into gold. When I do a bunch of Dragon Ball Z rants, I'm always saying stuff like, especially when I ran on Dragon Ball Z Kai, which I absolutely hate. I always say, you can't polish a turd. You can't polish a turd. Well, Ocean Dub Studios can, and once again with GT, their version of GT, in my opinion, is even better than its Japanese and Funimation counterparts. And the Japanese dub of Dragon Ball GT and the Funimation dub of Dragon Ball GT were some of those companies and countries' best efforts when it came to dubbing Dragon Ball GT. Dragon Ball GT, which is notoriously known to be the weakest of the Dragon Ball franchise, surprisingly has the best action, the best story, and the best dubs. So, and we're going to talk more about it in the part 2 narration portion. So with that being said, it doesn't matter what you think. By the way, before I start this video, there will be 2 intro themes: the Blue Water Dragon Ball GT theme and Knuckles theme from Sonic Adventure 1. I love both of these themes so much that I decided to do a mashup. So you will hear 2 intro themes and outro themes in this video. With that being said, let's get started right now. This is my world. Hey everybody, it's time for part 2 of my review of Dragon Ball GT Blue Water dub. Yes, this is the Blue Water dub of Dragon Ball GT. Like I said in part 1, this is a rare review because I actually discovered the Dragon Ball GT Blue Water dub by accident. I'm just like I mentioned in my Cell and Boo Saga Ocean dub review in late 2019. When I was having computer problems, and I got some ransomware on my computer, and this ransomware hid a bunch of my files, and some of those files that were hidden were my Dragon Ball were my Dragon Ball Z Ocean Dub files. So Saiyan and Namek Saga. So I went online. I figured, okay, well, the first website I went to, www.dbz.tv, that doesn't exist anymore. But I'm pretty sure there's another website with all of the Ocean Dub episodes on there. And and I was right. I think the website is called Megas. Managed to find a website with all the Ocean Dub episodes available for download. Not only do they have the Sane and Namek saga, but they had the Cell and Ocean Dub Cell and Boo sagas too. Then they had the Blue Water dub of GT and a Blue Water dub of Dragon Ball, which the Blue Water dub of Dragon Ball, I didn't even know that existed. I thought the Ocean Dub just did the first 13 episodes of the original Dragon Ball series, and it was canceled. It was canceled, and then Funimation took over in 2001. But let me continue with the Ocean Dub. Let me continue with the Ocean. Let me continue with the Blue Water Dub. Then I saw my very first actual introduction to the Ocean, the Blue Water Dub of GT came in 2012. I saw various clips and very awesome theme song, the very awesome theme song, and it wasn't as good. It wasn't as good as the Ocean Dub versions of Dragon Ball Z, but this was a good replacement. This was a good replacement. I think this is way better than the Funimation version. The Funimation version of GT is actually pretty good, but it's so damn childish and now dated and just try hard with the whole with the whole rap and hip hop theme that series had replacing the original Japanese score for Dragon Ball GT with the hip hop stuff kind of made some of the tension and drama and emotion from the show get lost in translation. Get lost in translation when it came over here. This series is much truer to the Japanese version, even using the term Ozaru instead of monkey. In this series. The Blue Water dub sounds exactly just like the Ocean dub. The Blue Water Company is the sister cousin promotion of the Ocean dub cast. I don't know any of the cast members here in this dub, but I like and enjoy them all. All of them do a good job. They're not as good as the Ocean dub, but they're great replacements for the original actors. And this right here was an awesome dub. Hercule's voice is way better here than it is in the Ocean dub. This is the only thing that's better about this dub than the Ocean dub. Hercule's, like I said, Hercule's voice in the Ocean dub was just terrible. It was way too comical. Yeah, like I said, I don't know any of the actors, but yeah, GT. Let's give my history with Dragon Ball GT. As always, with Dragon Ball GT. When I was a child, I loved Dragon Ball GT, especially in the early 2000s, circa 2001 and 2, in early 2003, when the show was rare. It hadn't appeared yet, and everybody was excited for it. I kept hearing stories about GT. Some of them were true, some of them weren't true, such as the ones that weren't true were the additions of Super Saiyan Broly, and also a return of Bardock to the series. That was false. But other stuff like the Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Vegeta, the cool new villain, Baby Vegeta, seeing pictures of Dragon Ball GT, it was awesome. Then finally, when I finished Dragon Ball Z, I think it was episodes 15, 16, and 18. Episodes 15, 16, and 18. I think that's what the episodes were. I found episodes 15, 16, 17, and 18 on VHS, which these episodes were aired first here in the state, but I saw this on VHS several months before Dragon Ball GT would air here in the States, and it was awesome. But I couldn't get to the store to get the other tapes, so what I did was went online and using two websites. I had to get rid of these websites because there were a bunch of viruses attached to them. But one website called Kazaa and another one called Imish. I use these websites to download Japanese episodes of Dragon Ball GT. I don't have them anymore. I don't have them anymore. I had to get rid of them because the newest website I use also had corrupted files and viruses. And in order to preserve my computer, my dad had to remove all of that from my computer, so I lost all of my files. But yeah, Dragon Ball GT, and it was awesome seeing the entire the baby saga, then the Super 17 saga, then the Omega Shinron saga, seeing the development who Maju was one of my favorite things about this series, and seeing him violently take on Baby, then Goku, the dramatic and epic transformation into Super Saiyan 4. In my opinion, Super Saiyan 4, the best and coolest Super Saiyan 4. Super Saiyan 4, Mystic Gohan, the fusions, Gogeta, Gotenks, and Vegito were the peaks of Dragon Ball GT.
It'll take some getting used to.
Were the peaks of Dragon Ball Z, followed by Super Saiyan, followed by Legendary Super Saiyan, Ultra Super Saiyan, Broly, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Cell, Super and Perfect Cell, Super, and Kid Buu. All of these were the peak of Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z would never reach this level of awesomeness again. They're still trying to top themselves several years later, and it's just not working. It's just stale, dated, and terrible, and even more cringe-worthy and terrible than it was with Dragon Ball Super now than it was back in the day. But this was the peak of Dragon Ball GT. Then we had the very epic Omega Shinron saga, where the first parts, the disappointing parts, were Gohan not using his full-length mystic power, and Goten and Trunks not becoming Gotenks. In the final battle with Omega Shinron, which is one of my favorites, the entire Z Fighter cast versus Omega Shinron is one of my all-time favorite battles in the Dragon Ball franchise. You had Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, Trunks, adult Trunks and Goten, and grown adult Gohan and Maju, one of the most badass Dragon Ball teams ever, fighting Omega Shinron. But what I wanted was Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Vegeta, Mystic Gohan, Gotenks, and Maju in an all-out battle against Omega Shinron. But none of that would have made a difference, because even all that Omega Shinron was just that more powerful. And Omega Shinron had to be the toughest and scariest boss in Dragon Ball Z, bad guy in the entire Dragon Ball franchise. And yeah, I also love Nova Shinron, one of the Shinrons being surprising. That caught me off by surprise when I was a child. One of the dragons becoming a good guy, being honorable, being a good guy. And also love Ice Shinron, how he was the total opposite of Nova. He was dastardly, cowardly, and did anything to win. And the way Goku killed him with the Dragon Punch, where he impaled him with the Dragon Punch one time, then he did it again, and a giant dragon sprouted from out of him. One of the most badass and coolest villain deaths of all time. This had a lot of cool villain deaths, with Baby being blasted into the sun, Super 17's death, which wasn't that memorable. Then you also had Omega Shinron's badass death. After he thought he killed Goku, he easily beat up Vegeta, Goten, Trunks, and Gohan. Then Goku rose out of the hole with the giant spirit bomb, and he threw it at Omega Shinron. Omega Shinron couldn't dodge or anything, and the spirit bomb slowly vaporized him, where you can see his skeleton system and everything. And yeah, one of the coolest deaths ever, one of the coolest and most dramatic villain deaths ever. Then Goku leaves with the real Shinron, because of the Earthlings' misuse of the Dragon Balls, for to go to some mysterious place. And then Then everybody else goes back to their normal lives. Then 100 years later, only Pan is alive, and we see Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. It was awesome. It was awesome. 2 years later, when I got to see it all in English, when I got to see all the Dragon Ball GT stuff in English, and had become much older, this is where I started to hate Dragon Ball Z, and this is where I started becoming a hater of the Dragon Ball franchise. I could see the plot holes and the BS of this of this of this series right here. I can see the plot holes and stuff, but I still watched it. But I still watched and enjoyed. But this is when I started to hate it. See, as a kid, the ending. The ending with 100 years later, everyone is dead except Pan and Goku and the other characters, and there's a new protagonist, Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. Now, as a kid, I kind of hated this because as a kid, I loved these characters. I love these characters, and uh, I didn't want to see another time skip, especially not a time skip that far into the future where you kill off all the other characters and only Pan is alive. You want to see an old woman Pan, So that's one of the reasons I started turning on the series because as a kid I was so attached to the characters that seeing a young Pan, seeing an old Pan, and a new wimpy Goku Jr. Vegeta Jr. was cool, but a new wimpy Goku Jr. Who wants to watch a series about those guys? That was the first thing. Now, as an adult, I actually enjoy this because it's a daily dose of reality. See, when I was a kid, the world was all you saw the world differently. Now, as an adult, wanting more adult stuff and criticizing Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z for constantly watering stuff down for kids, constantly bringing characters back to life, finally killing off all the characters for good, with the exception of Pan, and Goku, and starting the series over, and not necessarily starting the series over, but showcasing this new generation with Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. I actually like it now. I like to prefer this as the actual ending of Dragon Ball. I like this alternate world Dragon Ball much better than the main and current timeline. So yeah, and then I began hating GT because of its inconsistencies with part one and two, and its inconsistencies and contradictions and downright changes to the source material of part one and two when you're supposed to be a sequel to part one and two. But who cares if they contradict or change the story of part one and two, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z? Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, neither one of these alone are good shows. Both have their pros and cons, but both of these were terrible. This right here on its own is not only a good series, it's the best of the Dragon Ball franchise. So who cares if it's not canon or not? It's better than the first two. It had the dramatic, edgy, action-oriented tone of Dragon Ball Z with the comedic, fun-loving tone of Dragon Ball. Yeah, they had real stakes with Baby being one of the coolest villains because he did something worse than Majin Buu. Instead of killing off everyone, he infected everyone with his eggs and turned everyone into his slaves. That's a fate worse than death. Then you have the amount of hopelessness with Omega Shinron, with the dark cloud covering the sky, Omega Shinron's power knocking out the power and destroying all the buildings and multiple people and putting a hole into the entire city, to not only the entire city but the entire ground. The stakes were higher here, was much more dramatic and much more epic than the overly stupid and cartoonish Dragon Ball and its sequel, Dragon Ball Z. And Dragon Ball Super is absolutely atrocious. Dragon Ball Super actually helped take some of the hate off and make me realize that this series right here wasn't as bad as Dragon Ball Super was. Once again, I've said it once, and I'm stealing something from my boy Trilby Reviews with his X-Men Days of Future Past reviews. Once again, Dragon Ball GT, you are forgiven. You are forgiven. You are the best. This was the best Dragon Ball series. It had the action, drama, storyline, comedy, adventure, everything. And he also brought the show back to a martial arts show instead of just being a fake, stupid, comedic martial arts gag martial arts show. Brought it back to a legit martial arts show with characters actually training and going through some specific odyssey and arduous tasks to achieve their great and brand new power. I love how they make the Super Saiyan resemble the monkey. I hate how the tails completely disappeared in Dragon Ball Z. I like how they brought it back. I like how they brought the tails back in this series. And this is my favorite incarnation of every Dragon Ball character. I also used to hate it because characters like Tien and Yamcha were left out. They were old in this series, and they were even worse and disgraced even more in Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Why would they be more useful here? And I much rather Tien traveling the world with Chaozu and also training and performing farming, which he shows in one scene, participating in farming. And I'd rather Yamcha be in the desert, roaming the desert with Quar, and also going off on his own to occasionally train, but and still meeting with Bulma, as you see I think it was episode 42, the episode where you see Tien and Yamcha at a party for Bulma. I'd much rather that be the ending for the characters than these characters to be constantly brought in just to get beat up, killed, Yamcha, and die. Pretty much be cannon fodder for the villains. What else about this awesome series, man? Love the music, especially the Blue Water version with the original Japanese version. I like the Funimation version too, which I may review the Funimation version in the future. Review and rant on that in the future. But this is the very epic Blue Water dub, which is so much cooler than the Funimation version. Much better dialogue, much better voice acting, in my opinion. Much closer to the Japanese version, and has the original score, and everything, and it's just epic, man. And it would be Dragon Ball GT would have been the best had that Majin Buu trash didn't kill everything before this series right here. You can't polish it. GT can, but you can't correct the disgrace that Majin Buu saga was. And it was the Majin Buu saga that started the downfall for this. GT has a mixed to negative reception. Either you like it or you don't. I, for one, like it. I initially liked it. Then when I got older, I started to hate it. Now I love it again. Consider it one of the best animes, one of the best cartoons of all time, man. Dragon Ball GT. And yes, I can't wait. There will be a video commentary review of this awesome series. So, oh yeah, other things. Now let's talk about the structure. I like the earlier season. The first 3 episodes were great. Set up the plot, introduce the characters after the time skip before they started the Black Star Dragon Ball saga. The Black Star Dragon Ball saga was kind of weak because they tried to have the fun-loving adventures of the early Dragon Ball, but it was worth it for what would happen later. The story really picked up when Goku, Pan, and Trunks crash landed on Dr.Miyu's planet and encountered, I think they're named the Sigma Force, the 3 robots led by the mutant robot himself, General Rildo, who was somehow more powerful than Majin Buu. Then Goku had a pretty awesome fight with him. Then it really picked up when Goku killed General Rildo and realized, and it was revealed all along that Baby was the parasitic DNA of the Tuffle King was the true bad guy and the true mastermind behind this. This is when it really picked up, and Baby would go around fighting Goku, Pan, Trunks, infecting Trunks, and later Goten, and later Gohan with his insects, turning them evil and into his slaves. also capturing and taking over Vegeta's body, creating one of the coolest bad guys and one of my all-time favorite incarnations of not only Baby but Vegeta, Baby Vegeta, one of the coolest bad guys and coolest designs of all time, man. It was epic with Goku Super Saiyan 3 fighting Baby and dying. Then trying it, then Ooh loses, then Majin Buu, the Fat Buu fuses with Ooh, and Ooh becomes Maju and fights Baby, but gets turned to chocolate. And later Goku, after having his tail stretched out and nearly dying again, has the dramatic transformation into Super Saiyan 4. First, he goes Ozaru and is the cool golden Ozaru. Then he transforms into Super Saiyan 4. These things, even when I was a hater of GT, I enjoyed, and now for these reasons, I decided to give GT a pass, to forgive and give GT a pass and give them the respect they deserve. Then have the epic battle with Goku versus Baby, with Baby later growing out his tail and becoming Ozaru Baby. Then Baby's cool, dramatic death. Baby tries to escape to fight another day, but Goku chooses to blast him into the sun, vaporizing Baby once and for all. Then we have the Super 17 saga. This is an awesome saga, but this is the weakest saga because it was cool. It was cool and nostalgic seeing all those old villains back. Raditz was there. You gotta check the far. You gotta check the far. Is it far? Yeah, the far right. The far right. You gotta check the far right. You can see he's tiny. He's barely there, but Raditz is there. Nappa, Raditz, the Red General Blue, the entire Red Ribbon Army, Bobby's men, General Rildo again, Android 19 and 20 and of course Dr. Gero and Dr. Well, I already said 20, so yeah, pretty much all the villains from Dragon Zarbon and Doria, the Ginyu Force were there too, seeing all these classic villains come back to life. But however, they were just cannon fodder for the heroes this time around. And I love the Z Fighters fight with Super 17, but the Vegeta, Trunks, Goten, and Gohan fight was disgraceful. They should have did more damage than what they were, especially because according to the thing, Super 17 was combining two 17s together. How does that make something stronger than Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 2 and higher? So yeah, but the Goku versus Super 17 fight was awesome too. And I love how they made him an absorption model, Super 17 which makes it a little bit more believable. But to tell you the truth, the Android 17 power level and story, the Android 17 power level has never made sense in any version of Dragon Ball. And it's even worse in Dragon Ball. It's even worse in Dragon Ball Super, with him somehow becoming powerful through park training. But let's continue. And then you have the very epic, and I like how they managed to bring back Android 18 and Krillin into the fray, who I love Krillin much better in this series than I do the actual series. He's retired and out shopping and being a family man, to quote Guile from Street Fighter. And was brought into the plot later when he was killed by 17 and 18 fought him. Then you had the other saga. What was the other saga called? What was that other saga? Oh yeah, then the Shadow Dragon sagas. The first couple of dragons were a villain of the week thing. It got good when we got to the last three. Ice Shinron, Nova Shinron, the first good guy dragon, and Sin Shinron himself, when he kills and absorbs all the balls, becomes the most powerful and scariest villain of all time. Omega Shinron. Omega Shinron. Mega Shinron. This guy was Majin Buu, Cell, and Deborah, and King Piccolo, all wrapped into one. Man. Yeah. So yeah, that was Omega Shinron. That was the Shadow Dragon saga and the emotional battle and emotional ending that followed. Like I said, thumbs way up, clapping for Dragon Ball GT. Well, This has been my review of the Blue Water Double Dragon Ball GT. In the future, there will be a video commentary review where I will review this. I will watch and review the show as you watch with me. With that being said, let's get out of here right now. If you don't want to hear the rest of the music, turn the video off right now.